Alright guys, what's going on? This is Sharif, aka Alpha Flex, and welcome to episode 3 of Powerlifting Explained. This is basically a series I'm putting out that's going to explain everything you need to know about powerlifting, from the most simple thing to the most advanced thing. This week I'm going to talk about programming and how to choose your program when getting ready for your meet. So the important thing here is that I'm not going to go over every single powerlifting program out there and every single strength program out there, because there are so many. I'm just going to give you the tools that you need to be able to choose what program you want to do. Or at least when you see a program, you'll be able to know if it kind of has the things in it that you should be looking for when preparing for this. There's a couple things that you need to keep in mind when looking for a program. First thing is going to be specificity. When you're preparing for a powerlifting meet, the first thing you need to look for is to make sure that you're training the competition lift. You have to practice how you play. When I'm in the off season, which is any time that I'm not preparing for a powerlifting meet, let's say for my squat, I'm gonna do front squats, pause squats, Zercher squats, anything that's going to increase my leg strength and my overall squat strength, right? When I'm preparing for a meet, I'm only going to do the competition low bar squat that I do every time I compete. And that's just basically because you don't want to be preparing for you don't want to be going into your meet, preparing for your meet, doing something other than what you're going to do there, because then it's going to be different and you're not going to be able to get the most out of it that you should be getting out of it. Second thing to look for in your program is progressive overload. So progressive overload is basically week to week you're ramping up the weights and it's getting higher and higher and higher up until the peak. That's when your weights are at their highest, and that's when your effort is at its highest. That's when you're doing the lowest reps, heaviest weight, and that's when you're going to be ready to do PRs and stuff like that. And your peaking should be close to your competition time. So for your peaking period, your program should have a peaking period in it if you're preparing for a meet. And with that being said, your peaking period should line up with the time that you're competing at your meet. So, for example, when I competed at my first meet, I used Johnny Candido's 6-week strength program. And I actually really recommend that program because I really like the way he set up his peaking for it. But that's besides the fact. I just lined it up so that the 6th week of the 6-week program was my meet week, and my meet was on that weekend, so it lined up perfectly. Most programs are going to have something like that if they're a powerlifting program. If they're a strength program, I recommend kind of tearing out a different piece from a powerlifting program and then kind of inserting it in there into your strength program, just because that peaking cycle is so important when it comes to preparing for your meet. Next thing is training frequency. Here's the thing, when you're training for a powerlifting meet, you need to make sure that you're hitting all the sessions that you need to hit. So if you're doing a program that's making you do super intense squats on Monday, and it's high volume and you're super sore after the workout, and then you go in to do your next squat session on Thursday and you can't do it because you're still broken down from the other workout on Monday, if that's the case, you have overtrained, and I'll get to that in another video. So if you overtrain, then you're not going to be recovered for your next workout, and if you're undertrained, then you didn't get enough stimulus going into it to lead into your next workout. But that's how I define overtraining, and that's how most powerlifters define overtraining. So make sure your training frequency is at your level, and it's going to take you a little while to experiment with that, but make sure you're not doing too much or too little in your workout so that your next one can have enough consistency to keep rolling into the next one over and over and over again. But bottom line for all of this is that everyone is different and everyone's going to be able to do different things. So you're not going to be able to get the same amount of gains that I'm going to get on my program, and I'm not going to be able to get the same amount of gains that you're going to get on your program. And that's because we're different. Even if we were doing the same thing, training for the same amount of time, doing the exact same thing, same nutrition, everything, I would still be different than you. One of the two of us is going to be stronger. And that's just how it is, because everyone is different. So with that being said, there is no optimal program that you can get. You have to get whatever works for you. And there might be multiple things that work for you. So all that being said, that's all I have for this week. Next week, I'm going to talk about some of the equipment that you might want to get your hands on prior to competing. But until then, keep on flexing, guys. Let's get stronger. See you in the next video.